Hello and welcome to Aging Fearlessly. I'm your host, Guillermo Vidal. As those of you who follow me already know, I've been spending the last few shows pointing out a few things from ABC's popular new Bachelor series titled The Golden Bachelor to highlight the true differences between the fantasy world this show is creating and the true challenge encompassed in dating if you're over 50. I've devoted time to this topic because I care about helping you to age in the best way possible so you can create your best life ever. The reason this topic is so important to aging is because, as you well know, if you've been around the block for 50 years or more, you've undoubtedly encountered difficulties creating and then maintaining healthy romantic relationships. That certainly has been my case. Anyway, in my opinion, it's impossible to age well if you find yourself in the midst of a dysfunctional relationship. Now, if you're lucky enough to have survived through and come out the other side of a bad relationship, then I submit to you that you cannot age well if you end up creating a new romantic relationship that's just like the dysfunctional one you ended. It is for this reason I've been using the knowledge I learned from my senior dating experiences that I can help you avoid past mistakes, and then I can send you on your way to better and more fulfilling relationships and hopefully a happier life. Now, I've heard from some people who have bought into what this program is selling, who are insulted by some of the judgments and opinions I have said about it. Now, it's not my intent to insult anyone, for I know we're all entitled to believe what we want to believe, and who knows who's right. But I think what this program offers is crap. It is not real, and perhaps it can be hurtful, in my opinion, for someone older who's thinking about finding love again and believes the example they're watching is a template for what they should be looking for. Let's take, for example, what we witnessed in the last few episodes of this reality show. Gary Turner, the Golden Bachelor, after narrowing his selection to 3 women, travels to each one of their hometowns to visit and get acquainted with them and their families. As expected, his visits went well, but what was surprising to me was that each visit ended with Turner spending time alone with each one of these women to decipher the visit and put an exclamation point on it. In all 3 cases, the women told him they were in love with him. Now, this was not surprising to me, for they and several of the other women in this show have been telling Turner that they're falling in love with him. I'm not sure, those are awfully strong words, but that's what they've been doing. But this time, it was more definitive. All 3 women, Faith Martin, Teresa Nist, and Leslie Fema, said, "I'm in love with you, Gary," or "I love you, Gary," to Gary Turner. Now, what I was not expecting to happen was for Gary Turner to tell each one of the women, "I'm in love with you too." Say what? The guy just told 3 different women that he's in love with them? Can this be real? Can a person truly be in love with 3 women who are vying to be his romantic partner? To answer this question, let's create a different scenario. This one involves you. You're dating a person who you're falling in love with. You know they're dating other people as well, but you believe your connection with this person is growing very strong. And then one day you decide to go all out and you tell them that you're in love with him or her. Much to your delight, he or she tells you they're in love with you too. You're ecstatic. The dreams you've held for years are finally coming through. All the mistakes and everything are behind you. You then hold and kiss each other for a long time. But then she tells you they have to go finish some unfinished business with the other 2 people they have been dating. You think nothing of it. You've declared your love for one another, and you're sure he or she will be back in your arms so you can continue building your life together. Several days later, you become aware of a video taken during their visit with the other 2 people where a similar scenario is played out. You watch your lover tell the 2 others that he or she is in love with them as well. Now let's end our scenario there. We know Gary Turner has to cut the number down to 2 women, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So let's get back to what you know in this scenario. The person you thought was in love with you is in love with two others. What will you do? Well, here I think you have two options. A, you think this person's a nice and caring person, so you hang on to the hope that they were honest with you and that they love you more than he or she loves the other two people, and will choose you so then you can pick up the pieces where you left off and continue to build your life together. Or you can do B. You call the person up and you tell them to get back on the horse they came on and then go fuck themselves. You also demand that they leave you out of their games. Now today I'm certainly for answer B. Every person deserves respect and commitment from the person whom they share love with. Period. A person who feels true love for three people at the same time is a charlatan. But I must confess, however, there was a time when I was so insecure and convinced that I was not worthy of love that I might have picked A for the chance that this person might actually pick me. That would have been crazy. But this is not unlike many of us who even at this age see ourselves as flawed and undeserving of love. In order to age fearlessly, you must learn to see that you're not flawed and you are absolutely worthy of love. So here's the moral of this story. Maybe it's all a con created by the producers of the show because it makes for good TV. Maybe it's my mistake for being so gullible and believing all this that I swallowed this BS hook, line, and sinker. But the question at hand is still, how much of this is truly real? Were Gary and his 22 female contestants pressured to spice things up by throwing the love thing around to make it look like this is all serious? I can't truly say, for I don't know, but if this is all real, then Gary Turner is simply a line manipulator. This kind of behavior can be detrimental not only to your relationship, but to your health and well-being. This is called a red flag, and I will address what red flags are in the next few shows. But I don't want to be unfair to the man by passing judgment on him. So let me simply judge the behavior that was exhibited. If this is all real, the behavior exhibited by the Bachelor was tremendously disingenuous and manipulative. To illustrate this, let's reflect on the conversation Gary Turner had with Faith Martin to explain why he decides to go in the direction of the other two. The central theme of the conversation was Faith's question to her once before suitor. Paraphrasing Faith's statement to Gary, she said, "But we told each other that we were in love with one another. So when you left, I thought you would be coming back to create a new world with our new life. And that we would share that life together. But a few days later, there was nothing. Why?" Turner then said, "But those feelings I shared for you were real on that day. But my feelings for the other two were stronger." What? So Gary, does that mean your feelings of love only lasted one day? Give me a break. Regardless of the countless alligator tears we have and will continue to see from the Golden Bachelor, I can't help but see how damaging and manipulative his behavior really is. If you're in a relationship where your beloved has exhibited this kind of manipulative behavior, and then he or she rationalizes it whenever you confront them with it, leave them before you lose your soul to them and spend your life grasping for the little crumbs of love they send your way from time to time whenever they need to have your attention, and wondering if when they're not around, they're with someone else. That's it for today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. See you soon.